everyone, it's John. Welcome back to the channel. Good as always to have you along. If you're like me, you love watching holiday movies. And let's face it, when it comes to holiday movies, there's a lot to choose from. Especially if you're doing Halloween type movies, there are so many scary movies that you could watch and some iconic ones. But let's face it, the big one, the big daddy, the lion's share goes to Christmas.
Hey, the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Take it, Russ.
If you wanted to, you could watch a Christmas movie every single day of the year, and hey, why not? If it makes you feel good, go for it. But it got me thinking, who gets the raw end of the deal? Thanksgiving and kind of fall in general. I mean, there are so many good Thanksgiving or fall vibe movies that I don't think get enough attention. And you know what? I blame Hollywood. There definitely is a lot to explore there with the family dynamic, traveling, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to movies like this, I know that there's a handful that lean into the family drama of it all, as well as animated classics, of course, like the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special. But for this list, and this is just my own curated list, these are ones that I like to watch around fall, leading up to Thanksgiving. These are a little bit more lighthearted, mostly comedic, and I think they would be great additions to your list if you have one, or something to kind of get you started. I will say this, the first two are definitely more fall vibe, holiday adjacent, but are really, really good ones to kind of just get you into the spirit. So with that being said, I will jump right into number 6, which is one of my personal favorite movies and just has a really nice fall family dynamic vibe to it. And I think it would just be a really cool watch, is Dan in Real Life.
Yes. Very good column, sir. It really helped me understand my parents.
What else can I do for you?
I'd like to see your daughter, sir.
Nice to meet you, Marty. Come back in 2 years.
Dad?
Steve Carell plays Dan Burns, a very popular advice columnist for a local newspaper. He's an author, a widow, a single parent, raising 3 girls on his own, and living in New Jersey, decides to take the annual trip to go visit family at a Rhode Island beachside home. But when the movie really kicks off is when he decides he needs to take a break already from his family, so he goes into town where he meets a mysterious woman. They spend an afternoon together, really get to know each other, and upon coming back to the house, he's surprised to see the woman that he is smitten for, that he had just met, is there, and might not be who she claims to be. As these things go through a series of mishaps and misunderstandings, Dan has to learn how to navigate the waters of this family get-together, which is always tricky, and discovering if the woman that he has fallen for is really who she claims to be, and how that kind of ties into the family dynamic. But ultimately, like I said, this movie is just such a really light-hearted, good feel, fall vibe movie. It feels like a warm blanket, just the way it's shot. And one thing I've always really liked about this film too is the soundtrack to it. It has such a cool vibe and it makes you feel like you're immersed in this world. It's really light, it feels like fall and feels like a character in itself. But ultimately the MVP, of course, is Dan himself, Steve Carell. He really gets to show a lot of his strengths in this, and this was one of the first movies where I saw where he could do both drama and comedy.
This is actually quite the page turner there.
He has his comedic moments, which are perfect, but he gets to show another side of him in the acting where you really feel for Dan, you understand where he's coming from. He's a very complicated person and he is just doing his best. But a really good supporting cast too. Dane Cook, who plays Dan's brother, puts in a really good performance here, and we also get a nice little cameo from Emily Blunt. If you want to feel the vibe of the fall season and get it really kicked off on a good note, I don't think you could go wrong with Dan in Real Life. That brings me into number 5. Okay, I promise, after number 5, we are going to get into Thanksgiving proper movies, but this is another fall vibe and unexpected family dynamic, weird family dynamic movie, and is perfect timing because the new Knives Out movie is coming out, and this is the original Knives Out.
Everyone in the family has possible motives.
Was Harlan planning on cutting off Joni?
Did he plan to fire Walter? Is Richard having an affair?
Now, this is a good fall movie to watch because, once again, kind of like Dan in Real Life, but in a completely different direction, you also get that family dynamic and kind of that coldness, that fall, that transition. You're getting sweaters, you're getting fireplaces, you're getting everything that's indicative of the fall-winter season, and you are getting an extremely complicated family. And let's face it, no family is perfect, but this family really is not perfect. If you haven't seen Knives Out, you really should. And if you don't see any Knives Out movie, you have to see this one. I was really blown away when this film came out. It was really surprising to me. I did not know what to expect. I love a good whodunit type of movie, but I have not seen a modern day one done this well. And if anything, this is such a great performance from Daniel Craig, creating an iconic character. We thought he had already done that being James Bond, but I think Benoit Blanc really kind of falls into his own category. He is a very, very unique character, and that's why we're getting more Knives Out films, because it is just such a good role for Daniel Craig. The entire ensemble cast here is killer. Everybody gives a really awesome performance. Jamie Lee Curtis, Christopher Plummer, Chris Evans gives a knockout performance. Comedy, action, mystery, horror, suspense, all of the above. Knives Out is a perfect all-around fall vibe movie that will give everybody a little something of what they want. Check it out, add it to your list, and get ready for the new one. With that, we will jump into number 4, which is a proper Thanksgiving holiday classic, and that is Addams Family Values.
I'm engaged.
That ring.
It was our mother's. She was buried with it.
What can I say about this film that has not already been said, but it is a holiday classic. I actually saw this movie while I was visiting family in Arizona, and I never forgot it. It is such a fun movie, and one of the rare cases where I would say the sequel is just as good as the original. I watched these movies back to back, both the original Addams Family and Addams Family Value, and they do not disappoint. They complement each other so well. Everyone slips right back into their role, and as a bonus, we get the Thanksgiving scene.
Sit. Wait. What? We cannot break bread with you. Huh? Becky, what's going on?
We watch this every year, and leading up to it, we are just waiting for that Thanksgiving scene. Christina Ricci playing Wednesday Addams is so iconic in this, and Jimmy Workman, who plays Pugsley, has a great Thanksgiving line that we quote to this day.
I am a turkey. Kill me. What a thoughtful gift.
And you could put this earlier in the month, weeks before Thanksgiving, because it's a nice transition right out of Halloween to lead you right into Thanksgiving, because that's kind of how the movie flows as well. But this movie not only serves as both a Halloween / Thanksgiving fall movie, it really kind of takes you back to nostalgia, also has to do with that family dynamic. That's the biggest thing in all these movies, is do they have some kind of like family dynamic or a dynamic that has to do with traveling? If you start here and kind of work your way up to the rest of them, I think that would be awesome. So if you haven't seen it in a while, check out Addams Family Values, and if anything, make sure you check out the Thanksgiving scene. It is, perfect. And here we are, top 3 of our fall Thanksgiving type movies, and for number 3, I want to give a special shout out to my friend Joey. He's the one who brought this to my attention years ago. I had not seen this movie, and then he said, oh my gosh, if you want to see a good fall Thanksgiving style movie, you've got to see Dutch.
This isn't working out. We're not masters of the highway. We were robbed by homebound hookers.
Only because you fell asleep and I got excited.
You did?
I know where Dutch and Doyle are staying tonight.
Knowing Doyle, it'll be first class.
And if you haven't seen Dutch, it's understandable. It's a very hard movie to find and is an important reason why you should always have everything on physical media. This last holiday season, I did find it streaming on some random streaming site, but it's worth buying. I think Dutch is a really good Thanksgiving fall holiday movie, and it checks 3 of the biggest boxes. It's a travel movie, it's a family movie, and it's a Thanksgiving movie. And this is a great comedic performance from Ed O'Neill. He really gets to show all his various strengths, and this is like prime Ed O'Neill too. This is around the time where Married with Children was like at its height. He's just about to do Little Giants, and he is just coming off strong. He is really made for this role. I cannot imagine anyone else. Ed O'Neill plays the titular Dutch, and in order to get some goodwill with his girlfriend, he decides to go cross country to pick up her son, who's shacked up at a private school. Not exactly excited to see Ed O'Neill's character Dutch, because he's hoping to spend the holidays with his father. Ethan Embry, who plays her son, is the most revolting little pest. He comes from money, he's very entitled, he's just a little snot. Even though this movie was in 1993, you get that iconic 80s slobs versus snobs dynamic, and it's also a really fun road trip comedy. And as you can imagine, anything that could go wrong does go wrong. But ultimately, it's a great ride from start to finish, no pun intended. You get a lot of comedy, you also get a lot of heart, and by the end, you just want to relax and have a nice Thanksgiving dinner. If you have not seen Dutch, it is totally worth a watch. I think you you will be pleasantly surprised. I did not know about it until later in life, and it has become in my regular rotation. So if you can, find Dutch, watch it, and it's a great one to add to your holiday list. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, one or two can easily be interchanged depending on how you want to. I don't know, maybe I'll make some enemies, but I will say this, it is gonna be a little cliche, it's gonna be on the nose, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles has to be in your top 3.
Why are you holding my hand? Where's your other hand? Between 2 pillows. Those aren't pillows.
And if you watch no Thanksgiving fall type movies, you have to watch this one. I would say you have to watch the top 2 for sure. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I mean, what can I say about this movie? It is a classic. I actually just watched this a few days ago. I mean, just watching John Candy in this is just so awesome. Him and Steve Martin have such comedic chemistry. They were both made for this role, and honestly, at the height of both of their comedic careers. And there's not a film that I can think of more leading into Thanksgiving that makes you feel the anxiety of travel and makes you feel all of the things that you hate doing when you have to travel. And it makes you feel a lot better when you don't have to. If you haven't seen this movie, you definitely should. It is a classic. It's an iconic performance. And basically, the title says it all. It is a journey. Poor Steve Martin is just trying to get home to his family and is getting trouble at every single turn. It is one of those movies where you're like, this guy has the worst luck. And not making things any better is John Candy's character, and somehow the universe is forcing him to partner with this person to try to get to his family for Thanksgiving. And kind of like the other movies I mentioned, both Dan in Real Life and Dutch, they have a lot of comedy in them, but they're really, I would say, more focused on the front half of the movie. But from the title card to Thanksgiving dinner, this is a really fun comedic ride, and it does not stop. And it truly is a good moment in time to appreciate some of the comedic legends. Obviously, we lost John Candy, but we still have Steve Martin, and we still will always have this holiday classic. Like I said, 1 and 2 you can interchange depending on the time, the year, the vibe, the feeling. It totally doesn't matter. These are just arbitrary numbers at this point, but I'm giving this year, 2025, number 1 to Son-in-Law.
Middle America.
Who the hell is that?
Weird.
I think this movie conveys everything about Thanksgiving. I totally love the fish out of water story of it all. We've all felt like that, and especially if you had to travel to someone else's Thanksgiving, you could totally see where Pauly Shore's character is coming from. But honestly, in a very small, not really great acting career, this is, I think, Pauly Shore's best. If you don't know Son-in-Law, you really should. Pauly Shore plays Kroll, and leading into the college holiday break, he has nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. Luckily, his friend Rebecca from college is inviting him to her family's farmhouse for a proper Thanksgiving. But wouldn't you know it, through a series of mishaps and misunderstandings, Kroll ends up being Rebecca's makeshift fiance. Comedy ensues, and Kroll invades this family's life, but probably for the better. I think what's great about his character Kroll is that he is so optimistic. His freewheeling lifestyle and positive outlook on life helps each member of this family in a unique way, and in the end teaches them to be better versions of themselves. And every time I watch it, I'm thankful I did and ready to get some grindage, brother. So that is my Thanksgiving fall video list. I know there's a lot out there. I know I probably missed some that you like, but like I said, these are just ones I watched. They're lighter, they're more comedic driven, but I know that there is a lot out there. So if there's one you'd like to share, please let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. I wish you guys the best Thanksgiving, and of course, I will see you guys at the movies.
Let's chow down here and munch on some grinding.